Well, Joel, we've had a lot of great tight ends on this show, like Gronk, Travis Kelce, Dawson Knox, and now yourself.
So you've had a lot of great tight ends, and I guarantee I am the worst.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Ekeler's Edge. I'm Liz Loza, and this is, of course, Chargers running back, fantasy football superstar, and quarantine conqueror, Austin Ekeler.
What is up, everyone? Yes, I have defeated the COVID, but stay safe. It actually really sucked, but we'll get into that later. But welcome back to another great episode. Championship weeks, playoff weeks. It's a good week. Let's get it.
Yes, it is a good week, and we have a great show for you. We'll check in with Austin on his health and find out if he's going to be back on the field against the Broncos. It's championship week, as Austin mentioned, in most fantasy leagues, so we'll play over-under with 3 fantasy superstars, and actor, comedian, and fantasy football enthusiast Joel McHale will join the show. Okay, Austin, let's start with your health. Unfortunately, COVID forced you to miss the Chargers' loss at the Texans. Did you watch that game? And if so, what did you throw at the screen?
Definitely a heartbreaker, just seeing the team go down like that, especially in our situation where we need all of these wins. And now we're on the outside looking in as far as the playoff picture. But yeah, it's in the past. Look, we got a new game coming up versus the Broncos, so that's what we're looking forward to this weekend. That's what's most important.
Well, your boy Justin Jackson showed up really well. It wasn't any fault of his that the squad didn't win.
JJ definitely came to play, and if you picked him up last week, because I told you to pick him up, you're definitely happy. I think he scored like 34 points in PPR league. I mean, I just knew he had that potential.
We're taping this on Tuesday prior to your game versus Denver. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, so, pretty much recovered from COVID. All my symptoms, very sore throat, hurting to swallow, some slight headaches, the chills, all the things that you hear about. I was definitely experiencing those. It was terrible. But that was for about 5 days, and finally was cleared to come back in the building on Monday. So back at it, which felt good, but also at the same time, there were other people tested positive, and everything that was going around the league, like 100 guys tested positive across the entire league. So it's been a little concerning because I'm like, okay, who's going to show up to practice? Who are we going to have available? I know it's going to be me because I just went through it, so I'm back for sure.
How difficult do you think it will be to get your game legs and potentially your lungs back?
I mean, this part of the season, I've been running for several months straight, so my conditioning is pretty good. I can tell as I run up the stairs, I don't really get tired, so that's my test. That really is a test, though. Sometimes I just sprint up the stairs and like, oh, I didn't get tired. I digress. Anyway, but this far into the season, I feel like I go back on the field, I should be good. Should have a smooth transition coming back into practice.
Awesome. I think fantasy managers would be thrilled to hear that. We're going to play a game of over-under with 3 elite fantasy players. Can they finish in style and win a ship for their managers, or will they fail to meet expectations? Sound good, Austin?
Yeah, I'm talking elite players, so they better be showing up to the plate. Let's see what we got.
All right, let's start with Fantasy's tight end 1, the Ravens' Mark Andrews. In Week 16, with journeyman Josh Johnson behind center, Andrews reeled in 8 grabs on 10 targets, recording 125 yards and a score. Here is what Scott Pianowski is projecting for Andrews in Week 17 at home versus the Rams.
I know the Rams are a difficult defense, but you're going to play Andrews. He's produced with every Baltimore quarterback, so it doesn't even matter who's under center. I think he's in for another big game in the fantasy finals. You need a forecast. Let's go with 7 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown for Mark Andrews in Week 17.
So, Austin, are you taking the over or the under?
This is a tough one just because, the quarterback situation over there, Lamar Jackson being out. But here's the thing. This Mark Andrews guy, he is like the staple of that offense. He's super athletic for how big he is. So I think I'm going to take the over for this because I think they're going to have to give him the ball.
I am totally with you. I agree that Andrews is the engine that runs much of this offense, particularly if Lamar misses another game. And while he's been on a tear of 100-plus yard outings, he's done all of that without Lamar on the field. So why not, in what we're expecting to be a high-scoring game against LA here, I too will take the over. Let's move to the wide receiver position. The Rams' Cooper Kupp has been a beast for pretty much the entire season. He leads all wideouts in virtually every category. He's cleared 100 yards in 4 straight games and had fewer than 90 yards just one time all season. Here is what Andy Behrens is projecting for Kupp in Week 17 at the Ravens.
We are way past caring about the opponent with Cooper Kupp, right? He's just an every week set it and forget it star. But he does get Baltimore this week, and they're ranked dead last against the pass right now. I'm going to give him 11 catches here, 184 yards, and 2 scores.
184! Sheesh! Oh, sheesh. Look, this man is having a legendary season, but man, that is up there. I'm going to take the under. I just think 184 is ridiculous. So that is the reason I'm taking the under, not because he's not a capable player.
Sorry, Andy. Austin thinks 184 is, quote, ridiculous. And by the way, so do I. Like, I understand that the Ravens secondary has been decimated with injuries and other issues, but nearly 200 yards and 2 touchdowns? Like, do I think Cooper Kupp will clear 100 yards? Yeah. Will he clear 125 yards? Sure. Could he flirt with 140 yards? Yeah. Well, 184, I got to take the under just to manage expectations, too. On to the backfield and our very own Austin Ekeler. You are 4th in total yards, 2nd in total touchdowns, 1st in receiving touchdowns and receiving yards, and 2nd in fantasy points. Austin, I was tasked with the running back projections for this week. Here is my fearless forecast for you versus Denver. 14 carries for 67 rushing yards and a touchdown, plus 3 catches for 25 receiving yards. That is 92 total yards and a touchdown. So, Austin, are you taking the over or the under on my projection?
That's solid. That's really solid. Like, I feel like that's like right where I'm in. Like, I'm in that range of like maybe flirting with over or under 100 yards and maybe a score in there, which I've had a streak. So let's keep that streak going. I'm taking the over though. I need to break 100. I need to break 100, especially, this week for not just my own team, the Chargers, but also fantasy championship weeks and playoffs. So a lot of people depended on me that missed out last week because I was sitting on my couch. Definitely need to come back and break 100 for myself. That's my own personal goal for this and get in the end zone. So
I don't mind being wrong if you hit the over, friend. Let's go. We're now excited to be joined by actor, comedian, writer, and producer best known for his work on Community and The Soup. He's also a fantasy football fanatic. It's none other than Joel McHale. Thanks for joining us, Joel.
Hey.
I'm clapping for myself.
There you go.
Look at that rousing Week 17 intro. Come on, bring the energy, Joel. Let's go.
I think I clapped. You guys just talked. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Well, Joel, we've had a lot of great tight ends on this show, like Gronk, Travis Kelce, Dawson Knox, and now yourself, a walk-on at the University of Washington. I see you. All right.
Yeah. So you've had a lot of great tight ends, and I guarantee I am the worst. By a mile.
Can you tell us a little bit about your football career? I'm interested.
So I was in a fraternity for 2 entire months, but it was a football fraternity, and there was some very, very good players in the fraternity, and they said, hey, come out for football. And that began a 2-year journey of me trying not to get myself killed on the field. And ultimately, I was terrible. I got redshirted though, and I was behind Ernie Conwell and Mark Bruner and a bunch of other much better athletes. And I was like, oh, this is how hard you have to work to do anything on the planet. So that is my roundabout way of being on the Husky football team.
When did fantasy football start playing a part into the picture? When did you start getting into that?
I mean, now name dropping again. Drake. That has nothing to do with anything. No, I was into Canadian fantasy football. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Boy, it started. All right, this is Joe Russo of the Russo brothers of the Marvel fame now, were the executive producers and directed a zillion episodes of Community. And for Joe, it's a religion. He is into it. And that's how there was a guy named Bob Rowe who was our first AD at Community, and he was also into it. And I really didn't know what I was doing. Don't really know now. Because I'm like, look, if I want to start a player that retired 2 years ago, it's my prerogative to do that. And because you never know, it's fantasy.
Well, you do know in that situation, they're not going to score you very many points. So, I mean, how many teams do you have right now?
Well, two. One with Liz, and then one with with a group that Russo's a part of.
And
so
you're in the championship week in one of them? How are they going?
I am in the championship with one of them.
I was going to say, what's going on? Like, what happened?
Not ours.
I got pulled into this because Joel couldn't make the draft. He's very, very busy, as we've discussed, right?
Very busy.
I drafted for him and then was like slotted in his co-manager. Made one move. Joel was like, nah, immediately cut the player I picked off waivers. And I was like, I'm just going to let him roll. I feel like I did my work here.
Yeah. You never know with me.
So the other team then is in the championship.
Yeah, they're doing okay.
Nice. Well, they better be. This is like 2 weeks left.
Yeah, I'm going up against James Marsden. So
James Marsden, as in like the nice guy in every movie?
No, the other one.
From The Notebook, the one who doesn't get the girl, the boring sweet guy.
I have not seen The Notebook.
What? You're a married
I
man.
haven't seen it either. I'll vouch for you there too.
Yeah, Austin, what did you think of The Notebook?
I was writing in one the other day, and it was very helpful.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Joel just took a crap on the University of Washington and Nicholas Sparks. Congratulations.
He's an extremely handsome man, and it really it's upsetting. So I hope I can beat him.
Nice. Me too.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Joel. This has been awesome. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me and allowing me to deflect numerous fantasy football questions.
Hey, bring that personality out. I like it. Let's go.
Well, you nice people, thank you for having me.
And that is going to do it for the Week 17 edition of Ekeler's Edge.
Wow, it's been a journey, but thank you all for coming on. Good luck in championship weekend. Good luck in the playoffs, and we'll catch you next week if you have a game next week. If not, come just tune in. But till then, we'll see you.